Hi, it's the mailman here. This week's letter comes from Anya Marshallsay in Doncaster, Victoria. Anya writes in and says that she often hears the term backdoor used in a basketball game and wants to know what it is. Well, Anya, it's your lucky day. We've got 3 of the North Belvoir Giants here to help demonstrate exactly what it means. Okay, what we're going to do is Paul Reese in the green is guarding me, and my teammate is going to be Matthew Shanahan in white, and Chris Gent is defending him. Now, as Matt tries to lead up and get the ball, Chris is applying too much defensive pressure, so Matt cuts back toward the basket, and if he had any leaping ability whatsoever, would have dunked that. There's a fellow called Andrew Gaze that's pretty darn good at it.
Sidley, pass to Gaze underneath the basket, first points to Melbourne.
Last weekend's little stumble in Geelong. They've been headed now by the Magic, but not by much. Steve Carfino raps with, for many, the title favourites.
Well, who's hot and who's not? Why do coaches feel like it's the kiss of death to be labeled the best team in the league? Many people feel the Brisbane Bullets are, but how hard is it to be on top and stay there?
Well, I don't think there's any bad or good points, because it's a waste of time. It's really an exercise for marketing people and for journalists.
As far as this team's concerned, I don't think there's a good and a bad point. We just come out every night and we do what we have to do to win, and we train well.
We get a lot of pressure from our public, and you know, when they hear that we expect to do well and we sign a very good team, which we have done, you know, it certainly puts a lot of pressure on us to do well.
Well, I suppose it's a little bit of added pressure, but, you know, when we go around training, we just go back to the week-to-week type things and try and win every game that we play each weekend. And if you do that, you'll find yourself at the top of the ladder at the end of the year, which gives you the home court advantage through the playoffs.
The 1989 Giants had to have been picked. We had just lost the grand final to Canberra, and we had recruited Ray Borner, and Cecil Exum became eligible to play as an Australian, and picked up Mark Wright. And I'm not sure who even fills out the poll, but we ended up living up to those people's expectations.
Last year, I think we were ranked number 1 or 2 or something, and we finished about 4th or 5th. So, I mean, you can actually throw those predictions out the window. It's nice to hear, but when it comes down to the crunch, it don't mean jack nothing.
The Tigers were picked to do well, and you know, we were fortunate enough to do well. So, you know, it's just a matter if you stay injury-free, I think, in our league, and you know, your team can really get through and do well, especially a good team.
Well, the last couple of years, the Bullets have been ranked pretty well up there, probably this so more than in the last couple, with a couple of new additions to the team. So I guess this year's probably the most pressure on us to perform and actually win the whole thing.
I think the acquisition of John Riley and Andrew Goodwin, Christian and Mike are you know, the only similarity that we recruited numbers.
It's mostly chemistry, and we seem to have great chemistry at the moment, as the Tigers did. They are, you know, a very good team, a very good club. And, you know, I think the Bullets are getting that. You know, it's going to be a long, hard year for us, and we've coped pretty well with injuries already. So, you know, I'd be pretty confident that we'll do well this year.
Well, 2 other title threats came to grips last night at Flinders Park. South East Melbourne's 6-1 start to the season, their best since they won the title in '92. Perth was hoping to steady their season after an unexpected loss last weekend to the Tigers.
The Magic has won its last 4 encounters with Perth, but it was the Wildcats who stole an early march, leading by 9 in the first quarter.
Which is respectable, but nothing great.
Great dish to work, and an easy 2 points.
But a 13-3 run for the Magic, and the home team led by 1 at the first break.
And drops the 2 and draws the foul.
With Dorge and Lucas in foul trouble, James Crawford went to work on youngster Chris Anstey.
So here's a show. Oh, that is brilliant.
Andrew Parkinson was again lighting it up from outside. Despite his 14 first-half points, Perth led by 4. After the long break, the game fired up. Both teams prepared to put their bodies on the line. The Magic worked their way in front and went into the final term narrow leaders. While JC still has the hops, McKinnon too can leap above the best of them. Less than 2 minutes in the game and one bucket separated the teams. And when Captain Vlahov scored and added the extra, the visitors were surprise leaders. But Jordan, Trey and the Magic were back in front.
Jordan does! Makes it! Big shot!
Yet another lead change. Crawford put the Cats in front. The Magic had their chances, but it was Perth, 83-81.
To take it.
He shoots. Jordan misses.
No.
Parkinson off the arse misses. And Perth have won the game.
Wildcats the winners, and the jubilation was evident.
And have a look at him.
Fantastic effort from the Wildcats. Look at them, they're going crazy out there in the middle.
Yeah, they needed that one. 52 fouls in this game, would you believe? Grace fouled out, which is very rare. 4 points and 11 assists for him. He was 1 for 9 from the field. Perth won the final quarter 20-13, a great defensive effort. And one of the great stories of the 1995 season is the revival of Geelong. They and the Cannons have lifted the league with some great victories. But the best was clearly the Super Cats win last weekend over Brisbane. It's a team I like to call the Dirty Dozen. And I think Jim Calvin, the coach, knows why. Jim's with us right now. Jim, welcome to the show. You must be very proud of your efforts so far this season.
Thank you. Very, very glad to be here.
Is the Dirty Dozen a fair handle?
Well, that's a pretty good term. I like those little gimmicks and stuff like that. I made comments early in the year that we had a team of rejects, and I wound up having to apologize to my guys here in the last 2 or 3 weeks because it kind of hit the press and a little bit, stuff like that. And I didn't want them to feel like they were rejects. I just come right back and ask a reporter, if you had a year left on your contract and the team did not want you, what would you be called? They said, well, they rejected the guy. And I said, if you had another guy that way, what would you be called? And they kind of agreed with me, but they're not my rejects. I can tell you that. I'm tickled to death to have them.
Well, what is the key, Jim? How have you put this team together and have them playing so well as a unit?
Well, I think a big thing with our ball club this year, fellas, is they like each other. And I think that goes along with any game or any business in life. If the staff and the people in the office like each other, they're going to get a lot done. If a team likes each other, they're going to get a lot done, so you become overachievers a little bit. One thing I told our guys before the year started, I wanted each guy to have a kind of a career best type year. I'm leaning on David Graham to have a career best. I want him to be 20 to 25 a night. I don't want that to have to be an American to do that. So I'm really relying on our Australian contingent to do that. However, we've got 6 guys in double figures right now. If 1 or 2 of them fall down, then we're going to just be an average team. So I think we pick each other up a lot that way. I feel like we've got 7 starters on our team. With Cecil Exum coming off the bench right now and also Simon Curl, I think you'd have to agree. We've probably got 7 starters, and these guys have accepted their roles very, very well. And by the same token, Cecil's fighting a big injury all year long, too.
Well, what sort of style of game would you say you play now, Jim? You've got a lot of weaponry inside and outside. What are you aiming for, if anything?
Well, one thing we try to shoot for every night, fellas, we want to get 50 rebounds a night, and I want our perimeters to get at least 20 of those. I think if you rebound 50 rebounds a night, you're going to be in a ball game. You're probably going to win the thing. Confucius say no rebound, no fast break, too. So I think basketball is a game of layups. If my team gets more layups than your team, we're going to win. So what is a layup? It's usually off fast break transition or second shot. So the rebounders are very, very big in our game plan.
And Jeff Arnold does seem to fit the style you're playing, doesn't he, perfectly? He's a real worker.
Oh, yeah. You're right there. I think every one of our guys fits in. I've made remarks that I don't look for our imports to get us 50 points every night. And really, that'd be a dream come true, but that's not what they're paid for, and that's not what I expect. I think if you've got 2 guys you're relying on all the time, all of a sudden somebody else can't stick their head in the air and do a great job. So we're getting great value out of everybody we've got.
Well, Jim, congratulations on the season so far, and good luck tonight against the Tigers. Should be a big game.
Thank you very much. It's going to be a big game. I saw Andrew during shoot-around here a while ago, and I pointed about 4 or 5 seats. I said, Andrew, we've got 5 people coming with air rifles tonight from Geelong. So when you get ready to cock that long rifle of yours, that when you feel that little sting in the right buttock, you'll know it came from Geelong.
Secret tactics indeed. Jim Calvin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
A marvellous success story. Let's have a look now, though, at the ladder and see where the Super Cats are. And the 29th of June will be...